Go in the back of Thurman, and he said, wait, where's the call? Too late. I don't think they could have taken much more time anyway, but I think the West wanted one trip down the other end.
That's right. Something you have to consider in this game. Cowens, by the way, had 10 points in that ball game and 6 rebounds, and he looks very fit. You have to consider the condition of the players about the overtime.
You know, the thing that this game shows is that you can be fit for life, but you can't be fit for basketball because there was a lot of heavy breathing out there.
All right, let's talk a little bit about this three-point contest that's coming up here in just a moment. Danny Ainge warming up, and there's Craig Hodges. The competitors have drawn for the order they're going to shoot in today. It's going to be Ainge first, followed by Trent Tucker, Craig Hodges, Mark Price. It's going to be Scott, Ellis, Bird, and Shrimp. That's the order they're going to go in the round of 8. And we'll talk more about that in a moment. Let's look back just a little bit to last year. In 1987, Larry Bird, Steve, survived a three-way shootout in the first round to go ahead and win. This is the third three-point shootout competition this year. This is last year's, and it was Detlef Shrimp and Larry Bird in the finals.
Well, the key was the call, and Bird decided that he was going to be the guy to go first. I think he did two things psychologically: keeping that jersey on, winning the flip, and then burying all of those shots at the top really put a lot of pressure on Shrimp, and he never really recovered, although he made a big rush at the end.
Well, Larry Bird has made more three-pointers than any player in NBA history and attempted more through the 3rd of January this year. So it was Detlef Shrimp and Larry Bird. Shrimp missed that last one. That ball, the red, white, and blue ball, which is worth 2 points, would have sent that last year into an overtime, a 24-second shootout. And now we've been joined by a very perspiration-soaked Rick Barry. You look like you were in pretty good condition. You said you were.
Well, I felt pretty good out there. I just wish the result had been a little bit different. I was telling Dave Cowens, it was like we were playing in the NBA Finals. All of a sudden, they were knocking us down, beating us up, and the whistle was never blown. That's what I should have kept my whistle for.
I predicted there would be some kind of disagreement by Rick Barry with an official's call, and there you go. He lived up to my expectations. We'll be back in a moment to talk about the rules of the three-point long-distance shootout coming up in just a moment from Chicago Stadium.
With its 24-valve 2.7-liter V6 and advanced anti-lock brakes, this is the performance sedan that's making European automakers uncomfortable. But with such amenities as a leather-trimmed interior and sophisticated stereo system, there's no reason you should feel that way. The Legend sedan, precision-crafted performance from Acura.
Mars Blackman here again. You know, nobody in the world can cover my main man, Michael Jordan. Nobody, nobody, nobody. Nobody. I'm telling you, it's impossible. 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 Impossible.
However, it's easy to cover Mars Blackman.
The American Airlines Sheraton long-distance shootout rules are relatively simple. The competitors attempt to score from behind the three-point line. Its longest distance, 23 feet 9 inches. Shortest in the corners, 22 feet. They'll have exactly 1 minute. And remember, it will remind you of this, each round is scored separately. The baskets made from each round do not carry over. There are 5 balls in each rack. 4 brown balls worth 1 point. 1 red, white, and blue advantage ball worth 2 points. If tied, the players would compete in a 24-second shootout. And that's the basic rule. Not much more to it. And gentlemen, Steve and Rick, talk a little bit about these locations and what some of the strategy we might be seeing today.
Well, I'll take the corners. I think that those are the places where they can really make their biggest dividends. If they can get the balls to go in from the corners, they have a better chance to really get a big score.
Well, you know, the big thing is I think the forwards have the advantage there. Probably Danny Ainge, the only guard in the contest who really does take a lot of shots from that spot. Trent Tucker, of course, he would like it from the outside. Dale Ellis shoots from the outside. But I really feel with you, Steve, that that corner shot for Larry Bird, Shrimp, and some of the big guys will be the key.
All right, we'll come back and meet the 8 competitors in today's long-distance shootout right after this. Stay with us from Chicago Stadium.
It's real. I know it's real. No other reason for the way I feel. Oh, yeah. It's as real as it gets. It feels good. So right.
If you go for
what's real. You want a beer that's not heat pasteurized, not tampered with. Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft.
Oh yeah, it's as real as it gets.
The United States Grand Prix. It's as close as most of us ever get to a Formula One machine. Until now. The Acura Integra. It's Formula One technology and it's street legal. The Integra. Precision crafted performance from Acura.
Nice flying, Greg.
Thanks.
So, you're really not going to do another tour?
Nah, Susan and I have made plans.
You're going to miss this place.
Sure, Doc. My mind's made up, all right?
Then I guess you're going to want this.
American accepted me. Looks like I'm going back to flight school.
I hope they know they're getting one of the best.
When you're something special, people know it.
Saturday at 5:30, it's Super Fishing on the Superstation. Catch Fishing with Orlando Wilson. Brought to you in part by Zevco and Quantum Reels and Rods and Motor Guide Trolling Motors. Precision engineered by Zevco. Orlando and his guests fish America's waters in search of the big ones. Watch Fishing with Orlando Wilson Saturday at 5:30 on the Superstation.
Sunday night, are agents destroying the NCAA? Pitt Panther coach Mike Gottfried speaks out on the sports page. 11 Eastern on Superstation TBS Sunday night.
Portions of NBA All-Star Saturday are brought to you by American Airlines, the official airline of the NBA, and Sheraton, the hospitality people of ITT, and by Acura Legend and Integra, precision crafted performance exclusively at your Acura dealer.
From Chicago Stadium, along with Steve Jones and Rick Barry, this is Bob Neal. Just moments before the American Airlines Sheraton long-distance shootout. The competitors today are Danny Ainge from Boston, Larry Bird from the Celtics, Dale Ellis from Seattle, Craig Hodges of Milwaukee, Mark Price, the second-year youngster from Cleveland, Detlef Schrempf from Dallas, the man who took Bird to the finals last year, Byron Scott from the L.A. Lakers, and Trent Tucker, who's the career three-point leading shooter in the NBA. And they are not competing against each other, which I think is something for everybody to remember, Steve, and that is that what they'll do, that all 8 will shoot in the first round, of course, and we're looking for the top 4 scores. The maximum, there are 5 racks of balls, 25 balls. The maximum number of balls points that can be scored are 30. So the top score, and a good score would be 16, 18, something of that number. A good score, and then we will list the top 4 scores. They'll advance to the next round. And you saw the money. The championship will be worth $12,500. And our first player is going to be Danny Ainge. Here's Danny Ainge from Boston. He's 6'5". He made 23 consecutive games of three-pointers on a pace to set records for most three-pointers made and attempted in a season.
Well, you can see Danny, he likes that side shot, but again, Danny really is quite a jump shooter. He uses his legs a great deal, and that could prove to be detrimental to him in this competition.
And Dale Ellis, he's blossomed into one of the NBA's leading scorers last year. He averaged nearly 25 points a game, won the most improved award. Dale Ellis.
Well, I think Dale Ellis, of all the players in this, wants to prove that he belongs in the All-Star game. He's had a tremendous season so far. He has the ability to strike from long distance, but he, like Ainge, is a jump shooter as well.
And Craig Hodges from Milwaukee was the runner-up in the inaugural American Airlines long-distance shootout 2 years ago. Won the NBA three-point title in '86 on the final day of the season.
Well, he also, again, purely a jump shooter, and he had like 25 points in the competition 2 years ago, but it seems like he runs out of gas the longer the competition goes because he uses his legs so much.
And here's a youngster who played his college basketball at Georgia Tech. He's become one of the NBA's most dangerous long-distance shooters, shooting at right near 60% from three-point line.
Well, that makes it easy to say he's my guy. I'll go out on the limb and I'll take the young guy, Mark Price, but he's a jump shooter as well. He likes to get the ball in a rhythm, so will be interesting to see how he goes.
Last year's runner-up when his final shot bounced off the rim. 6'10" forward from Dallas. This is Detlef Schrempf.
And he's the fellow that I think still has the chance to upset Larry Bird. He came very close last year when he did miss that last shot, as you pointed out. But as you can see, he's more of a set shooter. He really doesn't use his legs as much. He can get into a rhythm, shoots the ball more like Larry Bird. And I would say that he would have to be seated number 2 right behind Larry.
And Byron Scott's enjoying his finest pro season in the backcourt for Los Angeles this year. He's a 5-year veteran, NBA's three-point leader in '85, and he's a good one from long range.
Well, the key for Scott, I think, are the corners. He loves to shoot the ball down in the corner, and if he can get a good stroke going from there, I think he might surprise and score well.
And just like you saw there, as you see Trent Tucker, if he can shoot the set shot, which he can do, he's got a good chance.
Trent Tucker is a 6-year pro. He leads all active players in career three-point accuracy.
Well, I think Trent Tucker, he's a street shooter and one of the best, and if he gets a stroke going, he'll be dangerous early, but again, he has a tendency to run out again.
And the man, 2-time defending champion in the shootout, who sank 11 shots in a row in a stretch in the finals 2 years ago. Last year made 8 in a row to defeat Detlef Schrempf.
Well, Larry Bird is, again, the man to do it all. He has such great confidence, and I think the biggest advantage he has, Steve, is the fact that he believes he's going to win every time he steps out there.
Yeah, and he tells all the other guys that, too.
Larry Bird and Danny Ainge have been talking about All-Star Weekend, this three-point competition, and the All-Star Game tomorrow for the past month on the Celtics. That's a kind of a no-holds-barred New York rules ribbing each other kind of ball club, and the two of them have really set themselves up for today's competition. Now, the players had a drawing to determine the order of the shooting today, and it came out this way. Danny Ainge will go first, followed by Trent Tucker, Craig Hodges, Mark Price, Byron Scott, Dale Ellis, Larry Bird, and Detlef Schrempf. So Danny Ainge is going to begin here. He ranks 3rd in active players in career three-point shooting with a 576 mark. And the thing I think that has really made this thing very interesting is that Danny Ainge has attempted more shots than a lot of teams this year, and 2 players are going at the same time. On the other end is Trent Tucker. On the left will be Ainge, and we'll be following Ainge with on the left side here, and Trent Tucker will be on the right side. Steve, you keep a check on Ainge.
Well, Danny Ainge just got his money ball to go in.
Same with Tucker. Trent is going more for the set shot. He's not shooting the jump shot, trying to save his leg. He just knocked another one in.
Well, so did Ainge, and he got another money ball, but that was a good rack for Danny Ainge.
Now, remember, the brown ball's worth 1 point each. You got to shoot all of them before you shoot the 2-point red, white, and blue ball. Exactly 30 seconds left. Ainge is ahead by 3 baskets at this point.
Well, Tucker's struggling here, and of course, you want to get the highest point total. They're not against one another. Tucker's starting to find the range right now. 2 in a row. 3.
Ainge is still competitive.
Tucker got 4 out of 5 with the money ball the last rack.
They're tied at 10 with 8 seconds remaining.
Tucker missed all but 1 in the last rack.
And Ainge got the money ball.
Ainge finishes with 13 points and Trent Tucker with 11. Now remember, this is not head-to-head competition. The top 4 scores of the first round will advance to the semifinals. So Trent Tucker with 11.
And remember, last year, 13, they had a playoff to see who made the 4th spot. Larry Bird was involved in that and won the shoot-off to make it into the next round.
Well, those are both pretty good scores for the guys that started, and that's going to put some pressure on Mark Price
and Craig Hodges.
Mark Price will be, as we look at them from our courtside seat, on the left, and Hodges will be on the right. They have 1 minute. There are 25 balls to shoot, a total of 30 points, and Steve Jones is going to keep track of Mark Price, and Rick will be watching Craig Hodges.
And Mark Price.
By the way, as you watch these fellas underway, Ainge has been credited officially with 14 points, and we'll do more about that later.
Well, Price got 2 of the balls in his first rack, including the money ball, and now he's on a stroke.
Hodges only got 1, the money ball, and finally hit a second one. Craig definitely struggling here, Steve.
Well, speed and accuracy is important, and Price is doing just that from right in the middle of the court.
Exactly 28 seconds left. Both players have a little more than 2 racks left.
Well, Hodges made a ball, but he was on the line. It disallowed it. He had another one taken away, Hodges.
Tough night for Hodges against Price, who's shooting extremely well now.
Price has 11 now. Hodges 7. 10 seconds.
rack hurt Price if he doesn't get the money ball.
Hodges didn't get all the shots off because of the jump shot. Plus, he had 3 baskets made taken away because he was on the line.
So unofficially now, Price with 14, Hodges with 10. Ainge also had 14, so that means Ainge and Price both have 14. Tucker with 11, Hodges 10. The top 4 will advance. And now the official score for Hodges is 9 points.
Hodges looks like a fighter, and they're taking everything away from him.
Well, you can see how hard he's breathing. When you shoot the jump shot, it's going to be the case. It takes more effort.
And the next 2 competitors will be Dale Ellis, number 3 from Seattle, against Byron Scott, who wears number 4 from the Los Angeles Lakers.
Ellis is ready, and he really wants to do well tonight.
Remember, Ainge and Price both have 14 points. Tucker with 10 and Hodges with 9.
Byron going to the set shot, not using the legs, has knocked 3 in a row in.
Ellis has got 2 and the money ball.
5 in a row for 6 in a row now for Byron Scott.
He had 7 before he missed.
And Ellis is shooting the ball well, and the crowd has gotten behind him now.
30 seconds remaining. Scott with 10 points, 11, and Ellis with 7.
And he's got 4 more in a row, and counting the money ball. He's shooting the set shot, and he's got it going for him.
Ellis gets the money ball, so he's still in the hunt on points.
Scott only got 1 in the next to the last rack.
Scott with 14, Ellis with 12.
Ellis with 3, 4 in a row. The 4th one popped out.
10 seconds remaining.
2 more in a row for Scott. 3 in a row. He likes that corner stick. You pointed it out. And the money ball. The advantage ball hits.
Well, both of these young men had a very good round. Scott finishes with 19, Ellis with 15, and right now, out of 6 competitors, the top 4 will be Scott, Ellis, Ainge, and Price as of now.
And the heat is on.
And Dale Ellis didn't get all his balls up.
And the final 2 competitors will be Larry Bird and Detlef Schrempf, who were the finals last year. And let's take a look at Scott here.
Is Scott finishing off as he knocks another one in? You see him shooting the set shot, not the jumper. He's going to have plenty of legs left. He's going to be very tough in this competition using this style. There he goes, knocking him down, and the advantage ball for 2 points. And he's got the high point total, and a lot of pressure on these 2 fellas now.
They've got to get at least 15 to get in.
14 for a shoot-off.
So Scott has 19 points, Ellis 16, Ainge and Price 14 each. Bird and Schrempf.
Well, Bird, he likes that corner, and we'll see how he goes.
Schrempf 2 in a row. 3 in a row.
Just made 1 now. He's even at 2 in that first round.
Schrempf hit 4 of the 5, counting the advantage ball.
Remember now, Bird had to get into a 3-way shootout, a 24-second shootout last year to advance. He starts very slowly, and the key to beating Bird is beating him here in the first round.
Oh, Schrempf is hot.
Well, Schrempf is hot. They both start on the same side. They can't see each other, but Bird just got the money ball in.
And Schrempf hit 4 out of 5 again.
We have 20 seconds remaining. Detlef Schrempf with 13 points. Bird with only 10, now 11.
That's a big one for Bird. He got the money ball.
And Schrempf had a bad rack. His next to the last rack. He needs some here. They're tied. Bird just moved ahead.
5 seconds left.
Schrempf ties him.
Bird hits the big 2-pointer for 17 points. Schrempf will finish with 15 points. So the top scorers are Scott, Bird with 17, Ellis with 16, and with 15 points, Detlef Schrempf.
And
unofficially, those are the top 4.
Knocked out Price and Ainge. That was some clutch shooting by both players. The last 4 players came through.
They really shot the ball well at the end. Schrempf can't believe he didn't get that one.
So that was the finish of round 1. Now let's just double check again. We have Scott with 19, Bird 17, Ellis 16, Schrempf with 15 to advance as we look at Schrempf on his first round competition.
See, he's basically a set shooter. He jumps a little bit more than Larry, but he got it going there on the middle rack. As you can see him dropping him in.
So Larry Bird this year, last year had to go into a 24-second shootout. This year, he finishes second among the 8 to advance.
Well, I think Bird was thinking on that last rack, just make sure I get a couple of brown balls in and then finish with that money ball, and he did.
All right, we'll be back with the semifinals. It will be Scott, Bird, Ellis, and Shrimp when we return to Chicago Stadium.
Go ahead, you can hit. He'll never reach him.
Watch out. We've introduced a new ball that goes farther than the top flight, farther than the competition. The new longer top flight, too. The longest balls. It just may take some getting used to.
Little things mean a lot. That's why just one number gets you reservations at any Sheraton in the U.S. or 63 countries worldwide.
Now, you can earn free travel on American Airlines faster than ever before with triple Advantage miles. If you're an Advantage member and fly one round trip or 2 one-way flights on American between January 1st and March 31st, you'll earn triple miles on every flight for the entire year. Triple miles all year. If you're not a member, join now and see how fast you can fly free.
My brother thinks he's bought the perfect TV.
Sure did. It's perfect. Perfect TV.
Oh, yeah?
Perfect.
Does it have a flat square picture, too?
Yep.
High-resolution filter?
Yep.
178-channel capability?
Roger.
4-speaker stereo system?
Yep, right there.
On-screen graphics?
Yep.
A remote that controls this TV, wireless cable, and VCR, even if they're different brands.
Hey, I got a Magnavox.
Smart, Tom. Very smart.
Yeah, I know. Acting dumb is just my job.
Doing a great job.
So this will be the order of competition here for the finalist. We will have the first shooter is Detlef Schrempf, who will go first. Schrempf, Bird, Ellis, Scott all made it, with the eliminated players being Ainge, Price, Tucker, and Hodges. So Detlef Schrempf, who took Larry Bird to the finals last year. The rules are the same in this round as in the round of 8, except the players will shoot one at a time. 1 minute, 25 balls, a maximum of 30 points.
Now, Schrempf, who got off to a great start the last time, is struggling in that first rack.
It looks like he's got a little too much legs. He's going a little long on a lot of his shots, Steve.
Well, I think Schrempf is more subject to the psychological pressure than anybody else, but he's got it going now.
That last one didn't count. He was on the line, so he only has one, and he's going to be in big trouble. I don't think there's no way for him to make it into the finals.
In regular season play this year, Schrempf hitting only 3 of 18 for 17% as of the 1st of January. So he has been struggling all year.
And he's struggling right now. As I said, his chances, unless he knocks all of these balls in, or the majority of them, are almost impossible to make it.
Now he needs a big finish. He was jumping up and down, hoping he'd get that money ball in. He just got 5 points.
And we have 3 seconds left, and Schrempf has had a nightmare. Detlef Schrempf unofficially with only 5 points. That'll almost certainly eliminate Detlef Schrempf unless everybody else goes ice cold. Remember, the scores from the first round do not carry over. Individual scores in each round here. Can you see if anything's wrong with his form or anything, Rick?
Well, I don't think it's so much the form as it is just the fact that he got off to a bad start and he feels a little bit of pressure trying to make all of the balls at this point.
Looks like he's shooting the ball a little bit off to the left side. That one that he knocked in, the last one didn't even count because it was after the buzzer, but a lot of his shots were a little bit left. He may have had his hands to the right of center of the ball, but he definitely did not have the groove going that time.
Now Larry Bird is the next competitor in this semifinal round. Bird shooting 39% in game 3-pointers on the year. He has 1 minute, 25 balls.
It's always nice to hit the first one, but Larry not being able to get in the groove yet.
Got the big 2-point ball, however, at the end.
Well, this is your guy, Rick, and he's always been able to perform well under pressure, and he usually picks up steam with each rack.
Well, there's 2 in a row, 3 in a row. Let's see how many he can come up with. 4.
Including the 2-pointer. 8 points for Bird now.
He's got
30 seconds left on the 60-second shot clock.
And he's got the rhythm going right now.
And Bird's got 13 points with 20 seconds remaining.
Now, he's not getting to the racks too quickly, but he's able to get a lot of shots out of them very fast.
That's because of the groove he gets in. That set shot, he doesn't waste a lot of effort.
18 points for Bird, 8 seconds left.
19 and counting, make it 20.
And he gets the 2-pointer. Unofficially, 23 points for Larry Bird. That's only 2 points short of the record 25. The maximum you can get is 30 if you hit every shot. So the hired assassin with the sharp eye is firing it on target today.
You see Larry finishing off. Look at that smooth rhythm. The shot, 1 step back, pick it up, the shot. Back and forth. He is like a machine, and the results are almost like a machine. He's really got it down to a science.
Larry Bird, the leader. We're in the semifinal round of the American Airlines Sheraton Long Distance Shootout from Chicago Stadium, along with Rick Barry and Steve Jones. This is Bob Neal, and we're going to have Dale Ellis coming to the line now. Dale Ellis, who had 16 points on his first attempt, had been slumping a little bit earlier in the year in long-range shooting, but comes into this competition hitting 42% in game action.
Ellis is real strong from the corners, and he just got the first one to go. Let's see if he picks it up as he moves around.
Only 1 out of the first rack. That's not good for Dale. But watch the difference in the style. He has so much more motion in his shot as compared to Larry Bird because he takes more of a jump shot.
But he got a good stroke. He got 4 out of 5 balls in that rack.
Now we have 34 seconds left. Ellis with 7. Eight points now. And 8 points. He's 2 racks left with 21 seconds.
He just needs to try and make as many as he can here down the end to put some pressure on Byron Scott because Shrimp is out of the competition right now.
Shrimp had only 5 points. It's the big 2-pointer. That's 12 points for Ellis. 7 seconds left.
See if he gets through all the balls. This is where he didn't finish the last time.
Let's see if he gets this one off. He does not. So Dale Ellis unofficially finishes with 12 points. Bird had 23, Ellis 12, Shrimp 5, and now the final competitor will be coming up. That'll be Byron Scott.
Well, great concentration by Dale Ellis, but again, he took just a little bit too much time. It may hurt him now. When Byron Scott goes, because he had such a great start, I think he might feel a little bit more pressure than everybody else.
Well, Byron is a clutch performer, and I like the way he's shooting. We talked yesterday, and I said, Byron, if you're going to have a chance, shoot the set shot. He said, really? I said, definitely, save your legs, and that's what he elected to do here, and he knocked them down in the first time.
All right, we have Byron Scott from the Los Angeles Lakers. He has a minute of clock time. He's got to get better than 12 to finish second.
Got 3 on that first rack, so he's off to a pretty good start.
Well, Scott has his most trouble right out here from the side, so he's got to get some business done in this rack and the one from the middle.
Got the big 2-pointer right there with 35 seconds. Scott has 7 points.
Got 9.
He needs to beat 12. 24 seconds for Scott. He has 9.
Plenty of time left. He just needs to get it to drop in. A couple more.
Well, the shot seems to be flattening out right now, and all he's getting is the front rim.
This would give him 11. 10 seconds.
He needs 2 more.
He's not going to get it.
Byron Scott unofficially has 12 points. And that 12 would tie him with Ellis for the semifinals and mean there would be a 24-second shootout.
And I'll tell you, if that happens, Larry Bird definitely is going to be the big favorite because 20 more seconds of shooting can really hurt them. You see the slow motion shot of Byron Scott. Good form, nice follow through, good rotation on it, and he's able to knock that one in. No, he got the bad bounce on that one.
Now we have Scott officially with only 11 points. As they checked it, it is 11 for Scott. So the winner is going to be, the two finalists will be Larry Bird and Dale Ellis. There will be no shootout, and they are going to the middle of the arena for a coin toss. So Byron Scott, officially with 11, is eliminated.
You see Byron shaking his head. He really had it locked up. He had 2 racks to go, only needed to knock in 3 balls out of 10, and wasn't able to do it.
Well, that rack on this side there in that deep position, all of his balls kind of flattened out. They hit the front rim, and that really put the pressure on him. And here comes Bird back in a familiar position. So let's see if anybody can upset the world, and that means Dale Ellis.
Let me explain the coin toss here. They'll toss the coin, and the winner of the coin toss can elect to shoot first or second. The loser will then have his choice of baskets.
It's like Dale won the toss, Bob, and is deciding what he wants to do.
He's saying, I will receive.
Dale Ellis won the toss, and he can choose to go first, and he has said he will go first, and Bird chose the end opposite to the direction they are walking for his shooting.
Well, he's been wearing this end out. So yeah.
We'll be back in a moment for the finals. Dale Ellis, we're not going to go away. Dale Ellis is going to shoot right now. 1 minute, 25 balls, a maximum of 30 points. The winner with $12,500. Second place, $7,500.
This first rack is probably the most crucial for Ellis. If he can get a good rhythm going, he'll have a chance.
Well, he's got it going, like you said, Steve, 4 in a row.
And you know, I might mention here, he may have launched that first ball before the siren sounded, and we'll make sure to see if that in fact is an official point.
Ellis is a player that, you know, can feel a little bit of pressure, but he's got some good results in the first 2 racks.
Now we have 30 seconds remaining, and Ellis with 9 points, and 11 with the 2-point ball.
Let's see if he even gets all the balls up this time. He has yet to do that. Well, this rack has hurt him, Steve.
Got a big ball there. Now he's got to really go with some speed and accuracy from the corner.
10 seconds left. 14 points for Ellis. He gets them all off. Unofficially, Ellis with 15, but we're going to hold just a second to make sure of that. The first shot may not have counted. And Larry Bird, the 2-time defending champion, nobody has ever defeated him in the long-distance shootout, is set to go right after we take a look at Dale Ellis.
There you see Dale firing away. He got off to a terrific start, like you said, Steve, and I thought that that would get him going. However, even though he shot well on the second rack, the third and fourth racks were really his downfall. He was only able to drop that 1 brown ball and 1 2-point shot in on those 2 racks, and that could prove to be very costly going up against the defending champion, Larry Bird.
You know how Bird is. He feels that when the money's down, no one is better than himself.
Watched him. He lined all those balls up to be in the perfect position on that first rack. I'm surprised he didn't do it on all of them.
He has 60 seconds, 25 balls. He has to meet 15 points, a slow start.
But he warms up as he gets going.
3 points out of the first rack.
Well, he's all over the place in this rack. Usually he comes back with that big money ball that keeps him close.
He's hit both the money balls, both the 2-point balls.
It's like he's over-adjusting. He's come up short, and then he's all of a sudden throws it a little bit long. He certainly doesn't have that normal Bird rhythm going for himself.
He does not. And 25 seconds remaining. He has only 7, has to beat 15.
That's 8. Make it 9. And 10. 11 as we're counting. 13.
A huge rack that time for Bird.
He's still got to drop one here quickly. 14. This is a tie for the money. Yo!
Larry Bird at the buzzer with the 2-point ball. 17-15. Defends the long-distance shootout crowd at Chicago Stadium.
Our winner is Larry Bird. Every fan in his section received a McDonald's VR gift card with your free breakfast on 20.
Ice ice water in his veins.
The man is really spectacular. He was all over the place, as Steve pointed out, in the first 3 racks, and when it came down to the money time, this is what the man responded to. He needed to make a couple down the stretch. He needed to make the last 3 to win, and he's down to the last 3. There's 1. Now he's tied, and now he's the winner 3 times in a row.
He knew it when he let it go and was headed for that check in the winner's circle. Bird came through with a big shot.
All right, we're going to come back and have the trophy presentation and an interview with Larry Bird, who has won all 3 of the long-distance shootout. They're going to handicap this guy next year. We'll be right back to Chicago Stadium.
Now, you can earn free travel on American Airlines faster than ever before with triple Advantage miles. If you're an Advantage member and fly 1 round trip or 2 one-way flights on American between January 1st and March 31st, you'll earn triple miles on every flight for the entire year. Triple miles all year. If you're not a member, join now and see how fast you can fly free.
When I played hoops, I could beat anybody. Still can. Yo, Chief, little one-on-one or what?
Get out of town, man.
Chicken! At least I can enjoy a Miller Lite while I'm looking for a game, right? How about you, Peanut? Wimp. Light tastes great, but these beanpoles probably drink it because it's less filling. Hey, yo, beanpole, you want to show me what you got? Tricks are easy. I'd like to get this turkey on the course.
It's no contest. There's only one light beer, Miller Lite.
Here's why these members of the United States ski team prefer Alka-Seltzer Plus cold medicine.
I came down with some mean cold symptoms. I was congested, I was tired, I couldn't breathe through my nose. I took Alka-Seltzer Plus and it helped to remove those cold symptoms.
I've got a number of guys that are depending on me, and I have to be out there the next day. And Alka-Seltzer Plus really helps me do that.
Alka-Seltzer Plus cold medicine. Fast, effective relief for tough winter colds. Try new Alka-Seltzer Plus nighttime cold medicine to relieve your cold at night.
Hey, I like your new car. Thanks. It's got loads of power and really holds the road. You need all that performance? No, but it's nice to know it's there. You really have to take care of a car like this. A car like this is supposed to take care of you. That's why I bought Michelin's.
Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
So there you have the final standings of the 1988 long-distance shootout. Larry Bird, the winner, 17-15. And it was really interesting there at the end. Now, on the floor right now are Mike Chamberlain, Director of Sports Sales for Sheraton, Al Thomas, Senior Vice President Operations West for Sheraton, Tony McKinnon, Vice President Advertising and Marketing Programs, American Airlines, and Adrian DeGroot, President of NBA Properties, presenting the check for $12,500 to Larry Bird, the winner for the 3rd time in a row.
And you can see they had a sticker to put on for his name, but they should just written it out to Larry early.
The question is, will he share it with the rest of his teammates?
As Michael Jordan did in the Slam Dunk Championship, my prediction is no. They say Larry, while not being what you'd call cheap, watches his money.
He's got more than most.
Here's the presentation of the trophy. Wonder when they retire it, as how many will win. Who will be the next great outside shooter? And speaking of that, I'd be interested to hear what both of you have. And aren't there more three-point shooters coming along now because of high school and college 3 points?
There are, but again, the difference is being able to shoot what is considered a man shot from NBA range and being able to get some sort of rhythm. Bird is a set shooter, and he's got the technique down to a science.
I really believe that it has to be a set shooter to come along. A jump shooter, if you have to shoot that many shots, your legs are definitely going to go on you. I don't care how young you are or how good a shape you're in.
Now let's go out to the middle of the floor following the trophy presentation, and Craig Sager.
Thank you very much, Bob. I guess it was no surprise, but the dramatic way in which you won it this 3rd time is amazing. What were you thinking after the terrible start on that final round?
Well, I just worried about getting the 2-point balls down after I missed the shots, but you know, I knew he just had 15 points, and I still had plenty of time. Once I got to the top of the key, I knew I had to make some shots.
Those first 2 racks, the ball was all over the place. How did you get your rhythm back?
Well, you have to concentrate a little bit more and take your time. A minute's a long time to get up 25 shots, so I just took my time and was just hoping that some of them would start dropping for me.
With names like Al Capone and John Dillinger, Chicago's had some memorable shootouts. Maybe not stakes this high, but nobody cooler under pressure. You really thrive in this.
Well, it's a lot of fun. You know, the guys come out, and it's a little bit harder than it looks. I got out there, and I knew I had to beat 15 points. I just took my time and made some shots at the end, and everything worked out for me.
Congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Larry Bird winning the long-distance shootout for the 3rd year in a row. And if you thought that was exciting, stay tuned because we have the Gatorade Slam Dunk Championship next on All-Star Saturday.
Hi, I'm Julius Irving, and I'm here to help each and every one of you improve your basic basketball skills.
Now the NBA can be yours on video cassette. Let Dr. J pay you a video house call with this unique instructional and career highlight tape. Or relive the Lakers championship drive for 5 with a look at last year's best. Also available 87 team highlight videos of the Hawks, Rockets, and a special 2-season Celtics video. To order, call 1-800-972-5858. That's 1-800-972-5858.
Go over Jeep Cherokee's advantages, and certain things stand out. Cherokee gives you a choice of 2 or 4 doors, 2 shift-on-the-fly 4-wheel drive systems, and an optional 4-liter 6-cylinder engine that's more powerful, far more powerful, than anything in its class. All of this is precisely why 4-Wheel and Off-Road magazine named Jeep Cherokee 4x4 of the Year for the 2nd time.
Save up to $1,800 on selected Jeep vehicles, America's winners.
When it comes to autofocus cameras, some give you part of the action, but Canon EOS gives you all of the action. When it's so dark that some can't focus, EOS doesn't miss a trick. And Canon EOS has computers and motors in every lens for fast focus. So great shots are easy and so creative, the competition is out of the picture. EOS, more than autofocus, easier than ever. Canon, the photographic consultant to the National Basketball Association.
Saturday at 5 Eastern, catch Fishing Fever with the superstar of bass fishing, Roland Martin. Fishing with Roland Martin is brought to you in part by Minn Kota Electric Fishing Motors, the quiet power that catches fish. Watch the superstar of bass fishing, Roland Martin, Saturday at 5 Eastern on the Superstation.
Relive the challenge of the champions, the long-distance shootout, Legends Classic and Slam Dunk, All-Star Saturday, a night of champions, 10:05 Eastern on the Superstation tonight.
All right, the Slam Dunk Championship coming up next. Of course, we have 3 of the champions from the 4 Slam Dunk competitions here at Chicago Stadium today. We will have Spud Webb, who won in 1986, Dominique Wilkins, who won in 1985, and the 1987 defending champion, Michael Jordan. And Larry Bird just won for the 3rd time in as many years, the 3-point long-distance American Airlines Sheraton long-distance shootout, 17-15. And once again, Larry Bird, it doesn't seem to matter who the competitors are. Whoever Bird has to face in the end, if he has to hit the big shot, he hits the big shot. This time it was Dale Ellis who finished 2nd. By the way, Ellis will get $7,500. Byron Scott finished 3rd. He'll get $5,500. And Detlef Schrempf will get $2,500 for finishing 4th.
Well, it's still not a bad day's work, but again, I think what Bird demonstrated is ability to make the big shot when it means something. He's done that continuously throughout his career. This is just a way to magnify his ability.
And now in his own town, Chicago, Michael Jordan here to defend the 1987 Slam Dunk Championship he won. And we have an announcement for you. We've just learned that Ron Harper of Cleveland, the youngster in his 2nd year in the NBA, who was scheduled to play, cannot play because of a foot injury. We understand from the NBA folks, so there will be 7 in the Slam Dunk Championship instead of 8 because Ron Harper, with a foot injury, has elected not to make that injury worse by competing in the Slam Dunk Championship. Now, before we get underway with today's dunking, as we watch the NBA around, we're watching an artistic exhibition here today. But the dunking in this kind of competition and game dunking can be very different. So let's look at this description between dunking for exhibition purposes and playing in a regular NBA game. Steve Jones looked into it, and here's his report.
I looked into it.
The slam dunk, the ultimate weapon in the NBA arsenal. In a game situation, it's a crowd pleaser, a showstopper, a momentum changer. It's what the people pay to see. But in a contest, even the great game dunkers like Tom Chambers can't always bring their home fans to their feet. Sometimes it's easier to dunk in a crowd than when you're standing all alone. Clyde may glide in a game, but even this Phi Slamma Jamma alumnus isn't holding the reservation in the Slam Dunkers Hall of Fame. The true champions know the difference. Creativity.
I think that the dunk contest is a creativity thing, and more or less instincts for me, actually. So I don't like to practice. I just like to go out and do and let creativity take over. You know, when I tend to, whenever I practice something or plan something, I tend to mess it up. And so I'd rather just let creativity take over and instincts.
And those who do it with hard work, like 1986 Slam Dunk champion Spud Webb, appreciate the creative artistry of Michael Jordan and Dominique Wilkins.
When you have the hang time of Dominique and Mike, you can create a lot of stuff that just comes to your mind when you're in there.
Slam dunk contests are a whole different game.
That dunk by Jordan, one of those that helped him win last year. He's the defending champion, having outdunked Jerome Kersey 146-140. And Michael calls that his kiss the rim dunk. He says he's added something to that and will be displaying it this year. Last year's competition was at Seattle, and it was intense itself. A surprise entrant and a surprise strong finisher was Jerome Kersey.
Well, Jerome Kersey's a power dunker, and when he gets a little bit of rhythm going, he can really excite the crowd.
And the thing, though, about Michael is he has the ability to make it look like he's actually flying in the air with that great hang time and the great creativity, as Spud said, when he is in the air. That's a luxury that not many people have.
We're going to come back, meet our judges, talk about the rules, and then get it on with the Gatorade Slam Dunk Championship of 1988. Next.
Is the place. Secure your home with either the Quick Set Deadbolt or Entry Lock for $5.99 and a twin pack of Ace automatic night lights for just $2.49. When I hear honey do this and honey do that, hey, let me tell you, Ace is a place for me.
Do you know who the best player in the game is? Me, Mars Blackman. And I'm way above the rim, demonstrating some serious hang time. Very serious. Do you know how I get up for my game? Do you know, do you know, do you know? That's right, Air Jordan, Air Jordan, Air Jordan. Mike, what's up? Oh, money, why you want to do that to me? Why you leave me hanging? Come on, I got it. Oh, Mike, man, that's cold, man.
How y'all are? You know me, I've been cooking and eating real Cajun food longer than my belly stomach is wide, and that's a fact. So when I told you you're gonna like Cajun Spice Ruffles potato chips more better than them other Cajun potato chips, I'm not just whistling Dixie, no. I'm singing you a Bayou Serenade, I guarantee.
Only Cajun Spice-flavored Ruffles brand potato chips have those spicy Ruffles ridges, so the taste won't leave you flat.
When the evening breeze whispers through the tree.
Build and shape our future. You, the promise of America. We invite you to learn the technology of tomorrow in the Navy of today. You are the hope. You are the promise. You are tomorrow. You are the Navy.
Ace is the place. Wrap it with Ace duct tape. 2 60-yard rolls are only $4.99. And trim it with the Ace utility knife for only $1.88. They help you find the thing, then they show you how to use it. Hey, let me tell you, Ace is a place for me.
From Chicago Stadium, along with Rick Barry and Steve Jones, this is Bob Neal, just moments before the 1988 Gatorade Slam Dunk Championships. Let's meet the judges in today's competition. And the first judge we are going to meet is a man who is very well known to anybody who's a sports fan. He played 6 years with the Chicago Bears, 4-time All-Pro. That is Gale Sayers, popular around the country, but particularly so here in the Windy City of Chicago. And Johnny Green, another 14-year veteran, began his career in 1959. He was known as Jumpin' Johnny Green, had 8 points in today's Legends game. And there is Gail Goodrich, 14 years in the NBA, member of the 72 world champion LA Lakers. He had 3 points in today's ball game. And 2-time All-American from Notre Dame, veteran of 10 years in the NBA with the Lakers and the Royals, the Hawk Tom Hawkins. And Randy Smith, 2-time All-Star, 7th-round draft choice, 7th-round draft choice of the Buffalo Braves back in 1971. Now, those judges will award points from 1 to 10 on each dunk. So when a competitor finishes his dunk, he can have as many. A perfect score would be a 50, of course. There are the rules, relatively simple. 2 dunks in round 1, 3 dunks in the semis and the finals. Competitors could replace a missed dunk, 1 per round, 0 to 10. If a player misses a dunk and wants to go with it, a maximum of 5 points could be awarded. 50 points would be a perfect score. Style, athletic ability, creativity, and it's kind of like figure skating. Sometimes you may disagree with the judging. There's the prize money. First place, $12,500.
Well, Bob, who's your favorite here?
Well, my favorite in this one's going to be the defending champion, Michael Jordan. Steve and Rick, quickly, who's are yours?
Bud Webb.
Dominique Wilkins.
All right, we'll see what happens when we return to the 1988 Slam Dunk Championship.
Rap musicians like to think the best light beer is the one we drink. And every rapping cat I know drinks Miller Lite. Ain't that so? Taste flavor, that's filling. Taste flavor, that's filling. Lights got body, lights got soul. Don't stop me now, I'm on a roll. Get it right, there's only one light beer from a Miller Lite.
Gatorade this winter, maybe you just don't get thirsty.
Gatorade is thirsty, all that deep down fire thirst.
With an optional 4-liter monster under its hood, Jeep Comanche doesn't just stand apart. It stands alone.
Save up to $1,800 on selected Jeep vehicles, America's winners.
Well, we've had an exciting Legends game that was won in overtime. We had an exciting Larry Bird victory in the shootout, and now the main event, the Gatorade Slam Dunk Championship from Chicago Stadium. Let's meet the competitors today. There are only 7 instead of 8 because just prior to the Slam Dunk Championships, Ron Harper from Cleveland pulled out because of a foot injury. You're looking at Greg Anderson representing the San Antonio Spurs. He's 6'10", a forward from the University of Houston. Cadillac Anderson, he's a rookie.
Yeah, he is a rookie, and he's the tallest competitor. Rarely do the big guys get in this anymore, and I think perhaps the key for him will be maybe some unusual dunks, maybe like 1 or 2 balls at the same time to change it up, give himself a little bit of an edge.
So Greg Anderson will be the only rookie in today's competition, and oh, is he facing competition from guys like Drexler and Kersey and Otis Smith. And speaking of Drexler, another Houston product, a graduate of Phi Slamma Jamma, we might mention, one of the bright young stars in the NBA from the Portland Trailblazers.
Well, Clyde Drexler, a very exciting player, having a great season. One of those players, as you see here, is capable of doing these type of exciting things in ball games. However, in the competitions thus far, he really has not been able to come up with the type of flair and creativity necessary to excite the judges.
Now, last year, this man Jerome Kersey replaced the injured Dominique Wilkins and took Michael Jordan to the finals.
Well, and it was a close final for sure. Jerome Kersey has the ability not only to accelerate and really kind of levitate in a game situation, he's been able to do it in slam dunk contests as well.
And an outstanding leaper who's appearing in the Gatorade Slam Dunk Championship for the first time from the Golden State Warriors. This is Otis Smith.
Well, Otis really sort of an unknown entity here. Not many people have heard of Otis. Not many people have seen him, but he really possesses great athletic ability. You can see the move right there. It's a matter of what he is able to do in his first competition as far as creativity.
And injured last year, he's back this year to defend a previous championship of 1985. The human highlights film. This, of course, is Dominique Wilkins.
Well, this is Rick Barry's man, and he is like a defending heavyweight champion. He wants to show that he can do it, and he's got the best variety, and really, he has the power to go along with it. He is a tremendous dunker.
And he says this year he is on a mission for the season, for the slam dunk competition, for the playoffs, and hopefully for him and his Atlanta Hawks point of view for the championship of the NBA. And Spud Webb, the 1986 champion, yes, he is 5'7" in his sneakers, and he captured the hearts of sports fans everywhere when he won with a couple of perfect 50s.
Yes, it was. And I'll tell you one thing, this is one of the great dunks he made, the bounce off the glass and the slam through, but I'll never forget the high looping one that he caught and two-handed it over his head. He deserves to win it. I don't know if he can repeat doing those type of creative things.
Well, they're on their feet in Chicago for this man, their man, the defending champion, Michael Jordan.
This is what the judges are going to have to deal with this afternoon. Much like Spud Webb when he was in Dallas, everybody expects a 10 from Michael Jordan.
And that's why Bob Neal picked him, because he always picks the home crowd favorite.
Well, Michael Jordan, I can't wait to see if he actually does unveil his Kiss the Rim reverse.
All right, well, I talked with Jerome. Jerome said he's got a little something special he's cooked up, and I asked Dominique. Dominique says he has 2 new things. I said, what do you call them? He said 2 new things.
Michael Jordan, last year's winner, the defending champion. In a game, he's spectacular. In the competition, he's spectacular.
Well, he's even more spectacular in the competition.
So Michael Jordan, the NBA's leading scorer again this year. And the first dunker is going to be Otis Smith. They drew for the order of competition. They'll go in this order: Otis Smith, Jerome Kersey, Spud Webb, Cadillac Anderson, Michael Jordan, Clyde Drexler, and Dominique Wilkins will be the 7th dunker. Repeating once again, Ron Harper is not in the competition today because of a foot injury from the Cleveland Cavaliers. He dropped out just prior to the competition today. So here comes our first competitor. Otis Smith from Golden State is 6'5", his first dunk.
Otis Smith is a power dunker, and you saw that right there. And he usually likes to do a lot of his dunks with his left hand. He came underneath the double clutch. It looks easy, but this is tough.
Oh, I wish I could do it, Steve, but I don't think he's going to get a very high score. There you see him make the move, turn about 180 in the air, but he really didn't get it through with authority. Caught the rim on it.
Well, we'll take another look at it, and you'll see. And perhaps he was just a little tentative, but I think the key is getting that first one to go in. And the judges give him a score of 40.
And Jerome Kersey will be next. In the first round, there will be 2 passes through the field of 7. And in other words, they get 2 dunks. They may replace him this if they would like. So here comes Jerome Kersey, 6'7", 222 in his 4th year from Portland. And Otis has 40 points of a possible 50.
Well, again, I'm surprised, Jerome, having been in the competition, that was a terrific dunk. He had great height. Threw it through, but really nothing out of the ordinary. You'll see it again right here, Steve, as he comes up. Now look at the height. Watch where his head is. His head is right up near the rim. Throws it through without looking as he passes by. But again, it's just a 2-hand reverse dunk.
Well, I think Jerome is a little bit handicapped in the fact that he has smaller hands than some of the contestants. He wanted to make sure he got his first dunk in. He can't believe the judges didn't give him a better score.
He gets 41. That puts him 1 point ahead. Remember, this is cumulative. The top four will advance. And Spud Webb will go 3rd. 5'7", 135 pounds. He won the '86 Slam Dunk Championship in his hometown of Dallas.
Well, the key for Spud is getting that first one to go in. Now, I've seen him in other competitions, and when he didn't get the first one in, he struggled a little bit, but all the little people are rooting for him.
Including me. Oops, now remember, the competitors in the first round have the option to replace a dunk.
Now, the big thing with Spud, and I really feel this could be a big factor, he had knee surgery. Now, when you have knee surgery, I think you lose a little something, Steve. So, I know I did. I didn't have a lot to begin with, and I know I lost something.
So this will be the one that counts for Spud Webb.
See, again, he had to get one in, and I think he's more concerned about that. His first one was more difficult and certainly would have got him a pretty good score.
And that should not be higher than what the other two competitors had.
You'll see him come in, and I know what he's thinking. Like, two-hand, you know, I'm going to get this one over the top and get myself a chance to advance.
So Spud Webb with another look here.
So it's just really a straight-in drive, just two hands straight in, nothing really spectacular. He just needed to get it in, otherwise he had no chance at all. But with 34, I still think that's going to kill him.
So that makes him third out of the first three.
None of those judges are 5'7", you know.
Well, Stumpy Goodrich should be able to relate.
Now Greg Cadillac Anderson. We go from the shortest competitor to the tallest. He's 6'10", a rookie from the University of Houston from San Antonio Spurs. Crowd liked it.
Well, I think the disadvantage for the big man, Steve, is that they don't look like they're doing as much because they're so tall and they're so big. They don't have that fluid motion, and they have to really come up with more creativity, perhaps, than the smaller players. So this is a nice one off the glass. He's up high, throws it through with great authority. But again, they just don't have the ballet-like movements of a Michael Jordan or a Dominique Wilkins. As you take another look at it, gets good height and throws it through with great force.
And now Greg Anderson, who picked up a 42. So that is the highest score so far. It's Anderson with 42, Kersey 41, Smith 40, Webb 34, and here is the defending champion, Michael Jordan.
Well, the judges, they got a lot of pressure on them. They got to come through with big scores for Jordan. Of course, Jordan wants to put some pressure on everybody by trying to do something special right out of the gate.
Everybody in the stands flashing a 10. They had him up before he got there. There's a 9.
Well, we go back and we'll take a look, and Jordan is saying, I got to put some pressure on. And, you know, again, you can't ever tell what he's going to do. He looked like he might have done a 360 or something, turned inside out, kicks his legs out, and the crowd responds.
And only a 47. The crowd not real happy with that. I'd tell you what, I couldn't do that one in my dreams.
Michael Jordan said that he hoped to get to the finals with a dunk that was not as spectacular as the one he wanted to pull out then. So he did get a 47. He is now the leader. Number 2 out of the 5 who have dunked so far is Greg Anderson with a 42. So that's what Drexler's looking at. Clyde from Portland.
Well, that looked a lot like the dunk that Michael Jordan did, and he had a little more authority throwing it down through. However, still in the air, he didn't take off out quite as far as Michael did, so it didn't look quite as good, but it's still a terrific dunk. There he goes, brings the legs up, windmills it through, and a very nice dunk by Clyde Drexler. I would think that should put him in second place right now as we take another look at it. Look at it up, get the legs up in the air, get that flair to it. You got to do something a little bit special, and I like that one by Clyde.
And the thing that Jordan did was kick his legs out.
And we do hear now that 44 points have been awarded to Drexler. That puts him in second place. So Jordan with 47, Drexler with 44, Anderson with 42, Kersey with 41. So 41's the number here that Dominique needs to better in order to advance to the semifinal rounds. Dominique Wilkins from the Atlanta Hawks, the 1985 champion, 6'7", 200 pounds. Well, that'll draw a high score. I can tell you that right now.
Now, we saw a reverse two-hander before, Steve, early in the competition, but not with the flair that Dominique just put on that, or with the power.
And the quickness. He exploded into that basket right down there. You'll take a look. Now, watch. I think what he does is really give it some juice. He cradles the ball, then spreads his legs out and really throws it down. That's a good pop for Wilkins.
And a 49 for Dominique Wilkins to put him in first place. So it's Wilkins with 49, Jordan 47, Drexler 44, Anderson 42. Dominique Wilkins. He first dunked when he was a 5'8" ninth grader. And now, Otis Smith. This is the second dunk of the first round. They will combine the two scores of this first round, pick the top 4, and then advance.
Now, Smith pulled out all stops on that one with a 360 and a two-hand hammer over the top. Again, it doesn't look perhaps as spectacular because the legs don't go out, but again, the difficulty is there when you take a look at the 360. He's right there over the top with two hands.
And a 47 for Otis Smith to go with his 40. So he has 87 total on 2 dunks.
I think it's tough to be one of the first competitors. The judges take a while to warm up, I think, as well. You've noticed that the scores have gotten a little bit higher as we've progressed in the competition.
So Otis Smith, in case you're not real familiar with him, he was drafted by Denver, then sold to Golden State. He had arthroscopic surgery last year, didn't get to play much. Kersey with his second dunk.
Yeah, the crowd didn't react real well to that, but that was a pretty nice move. But again, all of the flair and creativity was up high. He didn't do anything with the lower portion of his body. Here he goes, and he jumps up, rocks it from the right side to the left side, throws it through with the left hand passing by. I mean, a pretty nice dunk. But again, his body's so straight, and it was all done with the hands and the arms, it wasn't noticeable.
38, not a good score for Jerome Kersey, and added with his first round 41, he has 79.
He's saying, I can't believe it. That was one of my tougher ones, and my score got worse, and he really didn't make a mistake.
Well, the judging very subjective, obviously. The judges, most of them for sure know what they're doing. Johnny Green, Tom Hawkins, Randy Smith, Spud Webb. Didn't get the good bounce.
And that's why I was talking about that dunk he did when he won the championship. Everything had to be perfect. And you can see how difficult it is to throw the ball in the air, have it land perfectly, and be able to finish off the dunk attempt.
And remember, there was only one attempt for a replacement dunk in the first round. Spud had to replace his miss. When he went, he does not get a replacement there. So Spud Webb can get a maximum of 5 on a miss dunk from the judges, but that'll virtually and almost certainly eliminate Spud Webb from the competition. So he gets 18 points.
Well, Rick, you were right. He had to have that perfect bounce, and he was looking at it, and the ball got a little bit too close to the basket, and it hit the support, so Spud is basically eliminated.
Spud, the 1986 champion, and I think your point, Rick, earlier was apparently right. He did have a little problem with his knees, as we maybe in the first of his 2 in the first round. Here's Cadillac Anderson. Now he does have a replacement dunk coming, so he'll get to try that again.
Now, you know, Larry Nance was a big guy. One of the things that Nance did to catch the judges, he dunked 2 balls at the same time. No other big guy seems to have tried to do that.
I see what I mean. Now, a big man with his size doing that, I mean, it's a dunk, but it really isn't anything special.
Now, again, if he was coming off a double screen on the baseline in a game,
that would look great.
It would look a lot different.
Yeah, we'd have oohs and ahs, but right here we get, well, all the little guys can do that, so Anderson's probably not going to get a very good score from the judges.
And his score is a low 34 for Cadillac Anderson, which will give him 76. Now, the leader thus far with the total score is Otis Smith with 87. Kersey is second with his 79. And here comes Michael Jordan. Jordan had a 47 on his first dunk. Needs 41 points on this to be first in this first round. He'll get more than 41.
Now, see, again, that was very similar to the Dominique dunk. But again, the legs are out. He double clutches the ball. I mean, things that catch the eye of the judges. Watch it again. Here he takes off. Now watch, the legs are out in the air. He pulls them up. He spreads them out, pulls it from down low, up high for the 2-hand dunk. That's an appealing dunk.
And kind of leans his head out of the way to give the illusion, I'm really up there. Watch, see, looking, and he gets his head out of the way and throws it over the top.
And the crowd has booed the 47 that Jordan was awarded. He has 2 47s for 94 points. Remember, there are 7 competitors. Ron Harper had to drop out today because of a foot injury. 7 competitors. The top 4 will advance to the semifinals. And right now, it is Jordan, Smith, Kersey, and Anderson with a 76.
Clyde needs to do something special here. Again, it's a power windmill type of dunk. Let's see how the judges respond.
Needs to beat a 76 to move into that top 4.
Well, I think he'll get a good score here. He won't get 47 or 48. I'd say around the 45 mark, but he comes in nicely. He'll turn sideways to the basket, takes off, good distance away, and again, the legs and then the big windmill and throws it through. So Clyde being a little bit more creative than he has been in the past.
And he gets a 44. So Clyde Drexler's 44 to go with his other 44 will give him 88 and put him in second place. It is, as we go into the Dominique Wilkins dunk, Jordan, Drexler, Smith, and Kersey in that order. So now the number to beat is 79 for Wilkins to advance.
Oh, now that's a 360 with just a little authority, folks. And he does it so effortlessly, Steve.
That's what I was going to say. He does it so easy. You know, he just kind of walks his way in and then suddenly explodes and goes into the air, and you'll see, well, let me see. I'll just take a little spin here and then watch the power.
I think that's the most impressive thing about Dominique. He's got great jumping ability, great body control, but he also has tremendous power on the dunk. Here he goes up. Now watch the strength. He just takes it and boom, he fires it through.
And a 47 for Dominique Wilkins, and that's going to put him out front with a 96. So it's Wilkins 96, Jordan 94, Drexler 88, and Otis Smith 87.
Bob, I'll say one thing. I think the judge is doing a great job this year. They're not indiscriminately throwing out 50s like they've had in the past. The guys are going to really have to earn it, and they're saving their best for the next rounds.
So it is Wilkins, Drexler, Otis Smith, and Jerome Kersey. We'll be back to Chicago Stadium in just a moment.
A less irritating shave. You could go to extraordinary lengths to find one. A shave with not 1 or 2, but 6 rich lubricants for less razor irritation than any leading brand. You could go to extraordinary lengths for a shave like this. Or you could reach for Edge. Edge for less irritation. It's not your ordinary shave.
I got a man with a slow hand. He's got a face that I love to touch.
Ship Plus has a comfort strip to give you a smoother shave for the easy touch.
I've got a man with a slow hand. He's got a face that I love to touch.
Chic Super 2 Plus blades with a comfort strip for the easy touch.
Is the place. Secure your home with either the quick set deadbolt or entry lock for $5.99 and a twin pack of Ace automatic night lights for just $2.49. When I hear honey do this and honey do that, hey, let me tell you, Ace is a place for me.
How fast does Anbesol relieve toothache pain? Before you can say.
Anbesol.
Denture pain? Before you can say.
Anbesol.
Anbesol stops minor mouth pain on contact. Anbesol, liquid or gel.
Richard Boone, George Hamilton, Charles Bronson, and Richard Chamberlain, a thunder of drums. 8:05 Eastern on Superstation TBS tonight.
Tonight, relive the challenge of the champions with Michael Jordan, Dominique Wilkins, and Spud Webb in the Slam Dunk Championship. Sharpshooter Larry Bird in the long-distance shootout. And the stars of yesterday in the NBA Legends Classic. NBA All-Star Saturday, a night of champions. 10:05 p.m. Eastern on the Superstation tonight.
Portions of NBA All-Star Saturday are brought to you by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade is thirst aid for that deep-down body thirst. And Jeep and Jeep Cherokee, four-wheel and off-road magazines 4x4 of the year. There's a feeling you get only in a Jeep. And the Prudential, going above and beyond to meet your needs in insurance and other financial services. And by Nike, makers of the Air Revolution.
From Chicago Stadium, the Slam Dunk Championship semifinalists now will be Dominique Wilkins, Michael Jordan, Clyde Drexler, and Otis Smith from the Warriors. So those are the 4 who will advance. The 3 who were eliminated: Jerome Kersey, Greg Anderson and Spud Webb. And before we get started, I want to remind you quickly, this program authorized under rights granted by the National Basketball Association solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this event without the express written consent of the National Basketball Association prohibited. And now this is the semifinals. It will be Jordan, Smith, Drexler, and Wilkins in that order. They had a drawing to determine the order of the competition in the semifinals. Now in this round, 3 dunks for each competitor.
Well, Jordan got out of the gate last time with something special, and he wants to do the same as we start this round.
Uh-oh, he's measuring off the free throw line.
Jordan once said he thinks the perfect dunk would be a 360 from the free throw line.
Okay, it is T-minus 10 and counting to liftoff.
Oh, they're on their feet at the stadium already. This is reminiscent of the ABA dunking championship and Julius Erving many years ago.
Mission control, ready for launch.
I brought Dominique to his feet.
And Jordan says he likes to dribble the ball when he does a dunk as opposed to just running with it, because he thinks that's really part of the rhythm and part of the game, and he should do that. And a 50 for Michael Jordan on his first dunk of the semifinal round.
Well, Jordan just taking his time, it appears, and I think this is what helps him. He accelerates right at the end, just misses behind the line, but still, that's tough to beat.
There you see him coming at you as gets ready for launch. The plant, the tongue out, the flare with the legs and the palm, and throw it through. Very nice, Michael.
Little clutch with the right arm as he goes down the first 50 that's been awarded today. And next comes Otis Smith, the 6'5" guard forward from Golden State. Second year in the NBA.
How'd you like to be following this, Steve?
That's what I was going to say. Whatever happens after that, you know, Otis Smith is in trouble, but Smith likes to come underneath the basket a lot, and so it's going to be real interesting to see what he can do to try to get the judges on his side.
Missed his dunk.
He can replace that dunk. Smith may replace
now,
that dunk.
he may replace this dunk if he chooses to, and I'm sure he will, because the maximum points awarded on a missed dunk can be 5 from the judges, so he'll try it again.
Well, it's okay. It's just a matter of going through these dunks for all of the contestants so that we can get to Dominique and Michael in the final.
Oh, he had to grab an errant rebound as he threw it off the glass with a beautiful jam by Otis Smith.
That was impressive.
Now, that was good considering the pressure that he had missed before, coming behind Michael Jordan to take a chance and throwing it off the window and then catching it right. And again, power personified.
And he gets a 45 from the judges. That score booed. It may be the error in throwing the ball might have detracted from his point total.
I don't think so, Bob. I mean, I just think that coming behind Jordan, it's really hard for the judges to get used up again when they see that kind of an opportunity.
Second-year player in the NBA who had to follow Michael Jordan. That's called pressure. Now here comes Clyde the Glide Drexler. Drexler is competing in his 4th competition. He's a great dunker, often not as good in this competition as in games.
Well, Clyde has tried this once before in another competition, the sprint from the end. Let's see how he goes today.
Misses the dunk. He can replace it.
That is what happened when he tried this before, because he doesn't have that ability to, like Jordan, to somehow hang and glide and pop it in. He likes to cock and throw, and he missed it.
Greg Anderson, Spud Webb eliminated from the final competition.
Also, Clyde taking off a little further inside the free throw line than Michael.
Well, now that's a tough one. Why would he choose a free throw dunk after Jordan has electrified the crowd with a 50? That would be tough in a judge's mind, I would think, Steve.
There aren't that many of them, though. I mean, you know, you think about these ducks, you got to think about what you can do, and you also got to think about how to impress the judge and get something down. Drexler just inside, they give him a 45.
Well, again, he did not have the flair that Michael Jordan had. And it's a great dunk coming in from the slam camera, as you see. Was able to throw it through, took off further inside than Michael. He was not deserving of a 50 because you compare it to what Michael did.
So next up will be Dominique Wilkins. We're in the semifinals of the 1988 Gatorade Slam Dunk Championships from Chicago Stadium on All-Star Saturday, along with Rick Barry, Steve Jones. This is Bob Neal.
Oh, mercy. He didn't go anywhere but from 15 feet in, but it seemed to be just as impressive, again, because he brought it down real low and then just powered it home.
He has so much power. Now just look at this explosiveness as he takes off right in front of him, a complete 360 wheeler-dealer through for a 49.
So it's been Jordan with a 50, Wilkins with a 49, Drexler with a 45. There are 3 dunks in this semifinal round.
You think the judges might be thinking they might not be able to get out of here if Jordan doesn't win this thing. That was a tremendous effort by Dominique Wilkins.
Why do you think I picked Michael Jordan earlier? I grew up not far from Chicago Stadium. You got to call them their way. 49 for Dominique Wilkins. And he's not real happy with that. He would like, of course, to have had a 50. He said he's on a mission to prove he's among the elite of the NBA. I would agree. I don't think he needs a mission.
I'd like to know who didn't give him a 10 on that one, Dominique. That's what I'd like to know.
Now, Michael Jordan with the second of his 3 dunks in the semifinals.
It's nothing new, but again, it's spectacular and it's front of the home crowd.
Well, that's what I call the Chinese Superman dunk, because he kind of flies a little sideways there. Got a little slant to the shot. There he goes. Now he leans in, fires it through with the extension of the arm, and he only got a 48. So obviously the judges are pretty tough this year.
They're tough and relatively consistent thus far. Compared to his 50, that might be a 48. That sounds pretty good.
Well, when you look at it again, and this is the one that got everybody juiced up a year ago, it looks just as good and looks like a 50 to me.
It sure does, Steve. I tell you.
No, that's the one he calls the kiss the rim, because he takes his face right up to the rim, ducks it under, and then windmills. He said previous to this that he was going to add a twist to that dunk for the competition today. Let's see if he advances, and I think he probably will. If he advances, if he brings it up in the finals. Here's Otis Smith.
Well, Otis has really got to be feeling the heat, and now he's got to go to imagination, and let's see what he dreams up.
Almost brought that rim down. That rim, by the way, is collapsible. It takes 230 pounds of pressure to make it break loose on the springs that are there for it to collapse.
Now remember, he had a miss, so he's not allowed to another one. You see from the slam cam, he didn't quite get it down, hitting the back flange and kicking out, so he cannot replace this dunk as we get another look at it. And he's going to come up probably with a maximum of 25, I would think. No, 22 even. So the judge is really tough today.
The judges ought to be up there where that slam cam is, and then they'd get a degree of difficulty that they could appreciate a little bit better. Smith had a good dunk going, but that probably is going to cost him in advance.
So for all practical purposes, Jordan, Drexler, and Wilkins are now competing to go to the championship round. Here's Clyde Drexler for his second of 3 dunks.
Now, Clyde has got to be a little bit more dramatic in whatever he does this time to really catch the judge's attention. He's been steady.
He called King's X, which means he gets to do that again.
Well, that's like in the pro ball. A run-through doesn't count as long as you don't break the plane, so Drexler's going to try again. But now he's in his mind. He's trying to think, I got to come up with something to excite the crowd and the judges.
And he's changing his mind coming to the other side of the court now, so obviously he's going to try something different.
Talking to the crowd.
He's got to come up with some sort of 360 and power, and he's going for off the window.
That was impressive. He banked it from the left side, dunked it from the right.
That was safe, but I don't think it was good enough or dramatic enough for him to get past Jordan or Wilkins. Wanted to make sure he got something in, and at this point, if he would have been able to maybe turn some way in midair and catch it and throw it in, I think he'd have gotten a big score.
Sure, throw it up there, Steve. Catch it, do a 360 and fire it through. Something we used to do all the time, right?
A 42 for Clyde Drexler. So Drexler with a 42 on his first dunk in this round. Drexler had a 45, so that's an 87 thus far. There are 3 dunks in this semifinal round. Now, here comes Dominique Wilkins, who was disappointed. He was disappointed, and the judge has given him a 49 on his first dunk.
Here's a 360.
Oh, what a great shot from the lunar cam, too. That's right, that camera right above the rim.
Well, the heat is on, Rick. With that one, the judges are going to have to respond with their good scores. We look at the Lumicam up top, and that ought to give us a real good view of just how tough and powerful Dominique Wilkins is.
47.
Oh, he got a 47. He's not going to be happy with that score. 49 the first, 47 on this one. That's, I don't know, I disagree.
Well, now I'll tell you, see, he put a little flare after he put the dunk through, but when he went up, he makes the spin move, goes up nice and straight, holds it on his hair, didn't do anything spectacular with the arms. He didn't put as much flare as he normally does into his dunk, Steve. So I would think that score was more indicative of what he had performed as opposed to the last one, which he deserved the 50 on.
Well,
So
that's going to put him into the championship round with Jordan.
They get one more dunk.
Well, he's got to make sure he just makes the next one. I think the other competitors have basically almost eliminated themselves. Unless Dominique were to miss 2 of them, he should go in. Same with Michael.
Jordan has 98 points, Wilkins 96, Drexler 87, Smith 67, virtually eliminated.
Oh, and there's a miss, but Jordan will get a chance to replace it.
But he has got to be careful now because he must make the dunk. Otherwise, the maximum he gets is 25, and that could be costly. That could make the situation resulting in one of the other players to sneak past him.
This might open the door for Drexler. I think Smith would have to come up with something awful powerful.
That may have closed the door.
Well,
This is the semifinal round. They got 3 dunks each.
That was the same dunk he had just missed, and he made a slight adjustment, and you get a look high above.
Now you saw him throw his arm down in there. He was making sure he didn't miss that one. Watch the right hand now. Up high, his hand is there. He ducks out of the way. Now watch him throw it down in through. Now I tell you, I think 47 is a tough score. That was a very impressive dunk. I think the judges might be affected by the fact he missed, but they're not supposed to be.
And 145 is his total for the 3 dunks.
He had his whole arm in there, Rick.
He did. He definitely had to duck his head out of the way of the rim.
And that's the twist he was talking about, putting on that kiss the rim. In other words, take his head up. He normally just went in and windmilled it from the side. This way he went past the hoop and reversed it. That's the twist. Here's Smith. All right, Otis Smith in the semifinal round from Chicago Stadium, the 1988 Gatorade Slam Dunk Championship. Along with Rick Barry and Steve Jones, this is Bob Neal. Hope you're enjoying All-Star Saturday. At an exciting Legends game, Larry Bird won the 3-point shootout over Dale Ellis, 17-15, and now the Slam Dunk Championship's underway. 42 on that one.
Well, you know, again, I think the thing for Otis is that he's following Jordan, and everything is going to pale by comparison. That's still a powerful opportunity for him, but the middle dunk is really what hurt him.
Clyde Drexler, 3rd dunk.
Now, Clyde came up with a little bit more spectacular opportunity. He 360'd and threw it down right in front of the rim, kind of going away, but I don't think that's going to be enough to push him past Jordan or Dominique Wilkins. Now, this is tough.
The way he spun, that's the tough way to spin. He's spinning opposite of what your body normally would like to do, and he was still able to throw it through. He didn't get up as high as he'd like to. It looked like he might have pulled his back a little bit on that spin move.
And Drexler gets a 46 to go with his 45, 42, 46 for a total of 133. So thus far, Jordan with 145. Wilkins has 96 coming into this. His 3rd dunk of the semifinal round. Needs a 49 to tie Jordan.
Started in front and finished on the other side, and we'll see how the judges like it, if that's enough to push him past Drexler.
I think he was just making sure that he got a good enough score to make it into the finals. He really was in a good position. Here you see him bring it up. And again, the double clutch down, back up, and over and through. And this is, again, the flair that he has. As he goes up, he's high, all the way back down on the clutch move, past the basket, and then brings it back for the 2-hander over the head. Not your routine 2-hand over the hand dunk shot. A little more flair.
He does get a 47 to give him 143 for the semifinal round. So the 2 finalists will be previous champions, the defending champion Michael Jordan with 145 points in the semifinal round, and Dominique Wilkins with 143 points in the semifinals. And this is what the crowd's been waiting for. The championship round. There will be a coin flip to determine who goes first.
I think I'll change my pick.
It's too late. It's too late.
Well, at least my pick is still in there.
So Michael Jordan and Dominique Wilkins. This could be good. I wonder if they've saved anything for the championship round.
Well, Bob, I think that if if Dominique's going to have a chance to beat Michael, he's going to have to get some kind of a running, floating type of a shot as opposed to just the strict power moves that he's been doing if he expects to beat Michael.
All right, Michael Jordan won the coin toss, and he's going to let Dominique Wilkins go first. In a home crowd here, as you take a look at the summary so far, Jordan and Wilkins, who've made it, eliminated were Drexler and Smith. In a home crowd, I might, if I'm Jordan, elect to go first. I'll see what Steve and Rick think about that when we return to Chicago Stadium for the championship round of the Slam Dunks.
I am master of ancient art of karate, kung fu, and the Chinese chuckle. But the one about the socializing... I always reach for a cold Miller Lite. Light tastes great. Lightless are filling too. Hey, anybody want the pepperoni?
Ancient proverb, only one light beer, Miller Lite.
Introducing the 1988 Eagle Premier, the first in a series of sophisticated automobiles from the new Jeep Eagle division of the Chrysler Corporation.
Welcome back to All-Star Saturday, and what a day it has been. It began with a Legends Classic. A two-point shot by Dave Collins in overtime gave the East the victory. Then in the long-distance shootout, the only two three-point shooters among the league scoring leaders, Dale Ellis and Larry Bird. Pressure-packed final, Larry Bird the winner. Now the Slam Dunk Championship, the last two winners, two of the last three winners, that is, Dominique Wilkins taking on Michael Jordan.
Thanks, Greg Sager. Here's the Slam Dunk Championship. Michael Jordan, Dominique Wilkins. And I ask you fellas if you thought Jordan should let him go first or not.
Well, I think that Jordan probably did the right thing. He's going to put the pressure on Wilkins.
And Dominique is going to give a little running start to this one. Not much, though.
From high above the rim. High above the rim.
Well out in front. I think that that's the key, as well as the height, how far out in front he caught it when he's able to hammer it home. And again, he makes it look like it's routine, but watch, look how far away he is. That's a great start for Dominique.
And look, still going up when he caught it. Right, and he stayed up for so long, took off from just inside the bottom of that circle, and was able to throw it through with authority as he tossed it up from the top of the key. We'll watch one more time. There he is from the top of the key, the perfect toss, the perfect timing, and look at he stay up, and throws it through with power.
And the perfect score of 50 on that dunk from Dominique Wilkins, now the defending champion.
Well, now Jordan does have his first taste of pressure in the slam dunk competition.
I'm predicting a 50 on that.
Pretty hard not to give him 50 on that one, Steve. That was impressive. That time he did the two-hander double clutch, as he did look like the kiss the rim type of dunk he done before.
He got a 50.
Well, we're still even as Jordan goes up and takes it way down and then hammers it home over the top. And you'll see from way up high just how difficult it is. And we'll see the Dominique Wilkins reaction.
He looks like a heavyweight fighter who's just taken a roundhouse right, and now he's going to set to throw another one. So that's the second 50 of the day for Michael Jordan, but remember the scores from previous rounds don't advance. This is the championship. Dominique Wilkins and Michael Jordan. That rattled the floor.
Like 45 being someplace. That one exploded at the bottom of the net.
And that even has the Chicago fans humming because the power that Dominique has. He has more power than any dunker that I've seen play this game, with the creativity also going along with it. Here he comes up in the air. Look at the legs, look at the arms, the windmill, and power. He almost lost it. Let's check the judges out after he hit that one.
Ooh, they were impressed enough to give him a 50, his second 50. in the 3-dunk championship competition. There is a dunk-off in case there's a tie, a sudden dunk.
You know what he's telling Greg Anderson? Yeah, that'll get some heat on him now. We're gonna see what the judges will do now.
Jordan for his second, at a 50 on the first. Oh, look what's going through his mind. He said earlier, sometimes he doesn't decide until he's in the air. Looked like a figure 8 with the double clutch.
This is much like a heavyweight championship crowd, you know, and they are trading big, heavy right punches. Jordan took a long time to think about this, knowing he had to get the judges' attention.
47 was awarded on that dunk.
Oh, that is some great creativity, and you notice he's going with the two-hander, Steve, to get a little more power as we watch the reaction of Dominique Wilkins as Michael went in for the dunk, and he just waits to see what the score is. There's another look at that dunk. Now watch when he takes off. Look at the way he moves the ball from the right down low to the left, two hands, and throws it through with authority.
These judges are going to need the National Guard to get out of Chicago Stadium.
Yeah, it's a hostile, ugly crowd now.
Well, Dominique only needs to come up with a great dunk here. If he gets a 49 or a 48, 49, he can't lose, or 48. I guarantee you he will not get 50 on this dunk. Guaranteed.
A two-handed windmill, and the judges are going through it. Their entire lives are flashing in front of their eyes.
47, Michael gets a 50, and it's a dunk off.
Well, we watched Dominique Wilkins come in, and again, with the power and authority low with two hands.
And the judges have awarded Dominique Wilkins a 45.
That's incredible.
Could we call it a make good?
I mean, that's a two-hand windmill with authority from the sideline. Let's watch this one again. Here he comes, takes off, two hands up, down, around, and through with two hands.
Now for Michael Jordan, here's the story. Wilkins finishes with 145. Michael Jordan needs a 48 to tie, a 49 to win.
Hey, you don't think the crowd has some influence on the judges on that last dunk?
Well, they're on their feet here at Chicago Stadium. Here's another guy that relishes the challenge and pressure. But again, creativity and imagination is the key. Plus, he's got to make the dunk.
He needs a 48 to tie, a 49 to win. The defending slam dunk champion, Michael Jordan. If he were to win this, he'd be the only two-time winner in the 4-year slam dunk competition. Larry Nance won it, Dominique, Spud Webb, Jordan, and Michael is backing all the way to the middle of the backcourt. Now he's going to the baseline.
If he could somehow do some sort of spin on the way to the hoop, Rick, I think that would almost ensure it for him coming this far away.
All he needs to do is make it from the free throw line like he did before, and he'll win.
And he misses. He does get a replacement. He does get a replacement.
Now let's see if the miss influences the judges, even if he pulls it off, because he took off a little further inside. His legs may be getting a bit tired. He's had to do a lot of jumping here this afternoon.
Needs a 48 to tie Dominique Wilkins. A 49 would win for the second year in a row. The fans are all on their feet, or most of them are anyway.
Now, the only way that he's going to lose this competition is if he misses this dunk.
Well, the crowd lets you know what they think of it. Now we will wait for the judges. A 48 ties, a 49 wins.
Michael Jordan score 50.
They gave him a 50. They gave Jordan a 50. He defends his championship.
And he took off further inside than he did the last time, but it's still a spectacular dunk and certainly deserving of the high score that he received, Steve. But Dominique Wilkins got the short end of a very impressive dunk.
Consistent judging all day until the last 2 dunks prior to this, the 47 and the 45.
A note was passed down to the judges.
This is Chicago.
The home fan advantage, I think, worked in favor. There's Dominique watching that last dunk.
Well, it's like figure skating or any kind of gymnastics, any kind of sports where judging comes into play. There are going to be those who believe that Dominique Wilkins had the most spectacular performance today. We're going now to Craig Sager and Dominique Wilkins to find out his reaction. Sound like some microphone problem with Craig Sager. We're going to take a break here, adjust the microphone there, and then we'll have the awarding of the championship trophy to Michael Jordan.
With an optional 4-liter monster under its hood,